Jupyter Notebook gives you a notebook-like interface to write, test, and organize your code in a really nice way. And it's composed of two parts. The first part is a local server that starts running with a Python interpreter once you start Jupyter Notebook on your computer. It's combined with an interactive browser interface on whatever browser you'd like to use. You don't have to worry too much about how it works exactly, but the only thing to keep in mind is that when you start Jupyter Notebook, you might see a command line interface window like this. If you accidentally close this window, it might stop the local server and your Jupyter Notebook might stop working, so be careful not to close it by accident. So let's see how to use Jupyter to create a new notebook file and the Hello World script, as well as how to use two different types of cell in Jupyter Notebook. First, launch Jupyter Notebook through Anaconda Navigator or with any other method you might be familiar with. And notice that the URL that's shown on the browser should be something like localhost:8888. This is the local port that Jupyter Notebook uses, so if you close the browser tab or window, you can open Jupyter Notebook again just by going to the same URL. Now let's create a new notebook file. Currently we're on the home directory, as you can see the home icon on the UI. Navigate to the directory where you want to create a notebook file, let's say desktop. Find the new button on the right and select the Python version you'd like to use. I'm going to pick Python 3 here. Let's rename this file to something more meaningful than untitled, say using Jupyter for the first time. If you now go back to desktop, you see that a new file is created and it's called using Jupyter for the first time.ipynb. .ipynb is the extension for a Jupyter Notebook. You can write and execute regular Python code in a Jupyter Notebook. For example, let's write print hello world in this cell. You can execute this code by clicking the Run Cell button at the top. If you define a variable by writing, say, a equals 2, it is shared across all cells. So you can write print parentheses a, and it'll print out the value of a. Now there are two main kinds of cell in Jupyter Notebook, code and markdown. What we've been using so far is code. Markdown cells are used for, as you might guess, formatting text. In a markdown cell, for example, you can write hash space header 1, double hash space header 2. This is a markdown cell. When you click the Run button at the top, it's formatted in a really nice way. And there are a few other useful commands to remember. To add a new cell, you can click the plus button at the top. And to delete a cell, you can click the scissor button at the top. Also, there are many keyboard shortcuts for the most common actions. I'm going to cover some of them throughout this course, but to view them, you can go to the Help menu and click Keyboard Shortcuts.